TV News Prime, federal government activates diplomatic channel to safeguard Nigerians amid Gulf tensions. The Business Central Bank of Nigeria says 30 banks meet new capital threshold. And on the foreign scene, Guinea dissolves 40 political parties, including main opposition. In sports, the National Sports Commission insists Super Eagles 2026 World Cup qualifier campaign on course. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's resolve to end terrorism and other forms of insecurity, insisted that Nigeria will ultimately prevail against violent threats across the country. Speaking during an interfaith breaking of fast with members of the armed forces at the presidential villa, he said, "The sacrifices of servicemen and women are not in vain," and praised their role in weakening terrorists and bandits. The president also promised continued investment in modern equipment, logistics, and intelligence while assuring troops of improved welfare and stronger operational support. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has released emergency hotline numbers for Nigerians living in or traveling through parts of Middle East as tensions linked to the Iran-Israel conflict continue to rise. The Commission said the emergency contacts cover Nigerians' mission in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Kuwait, Tel Aviv, Doha, Beirut, Riyadh, Jeddah, and Amman, and are meant to provide urgent consular support as the security situation evolves. The Commission also urged Nigerians in the affected region to remain vigilant, follow local safety instructions, and stay in close touch with embassies and consulates for updates and assistance. Over now to former Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has accused the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) of abuse of court process, unlawful detention, and misrepresentation before the courts over his continued detention in financial crimes investigation. In a protest letter and a fundamental rights suit, his legal team argued that the remand order obtained from a magistrate court in Buhari was improper because the alleged offences fall within the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court, and also complained that the order was never served on him or his lawyers. The legal team is demanding his immediate release, withdrawal of any application to extend the detention, a public apology, and possible damages of 2 billion naira for alleged violation of his rights. The Police Service Commission has approved the promotion of 7 Assistant Inspector General of Police to the rank of Deputy Inspectors General to fill vacancies created by recent retirements in the force. The Commission said the officers were selected based on merit, seniority, service record, and performance in written and oral assessments as part of efforts to strengthen the force's top leadership structure. PSC Chairman Hamisu Argungu congratulated the newly promoted DIGs and urged them to prioritize national security while maintaining a productive relationship with the Commission. Over to the Department of State Services has arrested a suspected commander of the Eastern Security Network, a suspected IPOB member over alleged involvement in attacks on police stations and killing in Izi Ozo local government area of Enugu State. Security sources said the arrest followed months of intelligence gathering and described them as a major breakthrough in efforts to curb insecurity in the southeast, with the suspects allegedly linked to violent incidents between 2024 and 2026. Residents of the affected communities have welcomed the development, while the DSS says both suspects remain in custody. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. You're welcome back from that very short break. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Anambra State has advocated the introduction of a mandatory drug integrity test as a condition for admission into tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The agency said the move is part of a wider national campaign to reduce drug abuse among young people and promote a healthier mindset for academic performance and responsible living. During an advocacy visit to Federal Polytechnic Oko, school management welcomed the idea, with officials suggesting legislative backing and rehabilitation support for candidates who may fail the screening. Nigeria has joined the global community to mark the 2026 International Women's Day, with the federal government reaffirming its commitment to advancing the rights, economic empowerment, and political inclusion of women and girls across the country. Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development Iman Suleiman Ibrahim made this known while flagging off the month-long activities in Abuja. Sadia Yakubu reports.
The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja formally launched Nigerians' activities for the 2026 International Women's Day and Women's Month celebration. Flagging off the commemoration, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, described the occasion as more than a celebration, noting that it is a call for reflection on progress made and the urgent work required to advance gender equity in Nigeria. She affirmed the ministry's commitment under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to building a nation where families are stable, women and girls are empowered to realize their full potential, and every child is protected and given the opportunity to thrive.
Let me take this moment to thank the Nigerian press, whose courage, diligence, and commitment to truth amplifying the voices of women and vulnerable holds institutions accountable, shapes public discourse. Although gender-sensitive reporting has historically been limited, recent years have seen a gradual improvement, with more Nigerian media outlets dedicating greater attention to women issues and gender equality.
According to the minister, the 2020's global theme, Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, alongside the campaign slogan, Give to Gain, underscores the need to institutionalize equity, enforce justice, and ensure that commitments translate into measurable progress. She added that empowering women remains critical to national development, citing an International Finance Corporation estimate that closing the gender financing gap for women-owned SMEs could unlock about $14.8 billion annually for Nigeria's economy.
Today, Nigeria stands as such a pivotal moment where intention, preparation, and structure are aligning to advance the rights, the dignity, and opportunities for women, families, children, and the vulnerable groups in Nigeria.
Also speaking, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said the event demonstrates government's resolve to advance policies and programs that protect rights, promote justice, and deliver concrete opportunities for women, children, and vulnerable groups nationwide.
I want to commend you on driving the social impact interventions that you have. I commend your dedication, your leadership.
However, stakeholders noted that women's representation in elective positions remains low, stressing that the proposed reserved special seats bill could provide a historic pathway for inclusive governance by addressing structural barriers limiting women's political participation. Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
Troops of the Nigerian army have killed no fewer than 45 terrorists in a fierce gun battle in Damusa local government area of Katsina State, in what authorities described as a major blow against bandit groups in the area. The Katsina State government said the operation followed earlier attacks on communities and cattle rustling incidents, with some community members and repentant bandits also helping to resist the assailants before the military encounter. Officials confirmed that 3 soldiers were killed during the operation, while among those neutralized were senior associates of notorious bandit leaders operating in the state. Moving on to Governor Hyacinth Alia has disbursed scholarships to children of fallen police officers as a mark of honor for their selfless service in securing the nation. The report says that the governor also awarded scholarships to 23 students of Notre Dame Secondary School, Amkar, for their excellence in extracurricular activities. Felicity Inderi tells us more.
Recall that Governor Hyacinth started a humanitarian cause for the families of the fallen heroes to show they are well taken care of after the demise of their loved ones. Governor Hyacinth Alia noted that the initiative goes beyond award of scholarships, but also a recognition of heroism and encouraging excellence in children. The governor tasked the beneficiaries to make their families and the state proud, as his administration will continue to support them in whatever way possible, including providing startup grants to enable them start their businesses and improve livelihood.
Be rest assured that His Excellency the Executive Governor of the United States is with you in this. He has never left you, he will never leave you.
23 students of the Notre Dame Secondary School, Munkar, were also awarded scholarships for their outstanding performance in extracurricular activities, covering their tuition and external examination fee.
We thank you so much. I will know God will continue to bless you richly in Jesus' name.
These students who may have been struggling with school fees can now focus entirely on their studies.
Commissioner of Police, Benue State, represented by the DCP administration, Yakubu Muhammad, and the Director General Bureau of Homeland Security, Air Commodore Jacob Banwam, described the gesture as a beacon of hope for the beneficiaries.
This noble act of kindness will alleviate the financial burden on these families, enable them to pursue their educational dreams and become more useful to society.
The gesture extended to 14 families of fallen police officers, comprising 55 children, is a mark of honor and appreciation for paying the supreme price in defense of the nation.
The minority leader of the Benue State House of Assembly, Abu Umaru, has defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressive Congress, further strengthening the APC's hold on the state legislature. Speaking, Alfred Berger announced the defection during plenary and said the development rises the APC's strength in the 32-member assembly to 28, leaving the PDP with only 4 seats. Umaru said his decision was driven by the need to align with Governor Hyacinth Alia's development agenda, while political observers say the move further weakens opposition influence in the House. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to improving the welfare of local government workers as the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees celebrate Nolgi Week in the state. Amarachi Ibe has the details.
Speaking at the event in Owerri, the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma commended members of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees for their dedication to service at the grassroots, noting that effective local government administration remains vital to sustainable development. The governor emphasized that his administration will continue to prioritize workers' welfare, capacity building, and improve workers' conditions for local government employees across the state.
I only did what any well-meaning governor should do. The payment of workers' salaries is what workers deserve. Obviously, these are not favors. Rather, they are statutory obligations that every responsible government must do. But since on the basis of this, you've decided to honor me, I will accept the honor with happiness.
The national president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Aliyu Haruna, highlighted the critical role of local government employees in driving development and ensuring that government policies reach communities at the grassroots. He stressed the need for sustained investment in workers' welfare, training and capacity building to enhance productivity within the local government workforce. The president described the week-long celebration as an opportunity to reflect on achievements of the union while chanting a stronger path for improved labor relations and effective grassroots governance.
Your Excellency, when history is written about the advancement of local government administration in Imo State, your name will stand out prominently. This is because your administration has shown a common commitment to strengthening the local government system and improving the welfare of those who serve at the critical level of government. One of the most remarkable achievements of your administration is the restoration of peace and stability within Norgay in Imo State.
The event also featured the recognition of outstanding workers who have demonstrated exceptional dedication and commitment to service across various local government areas. As labor leaders, government officials, and local government staff gathered to celebrate their contributions and reflect on the vital role of grassroots workers on strengthening governance and delivering essential services to communities. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to global cooperation on climate action and environmental sustainability during an international conference in Tokyo, Japan. The agency's Director General Charles Anosike said the agency participated in high-level sessions on climate governance, disaster resilience, migration, agriculture, peace, and environmental monitoring, while also contributing to broader discussions on equitable climate justice and urban resilience. The agency says its participation strengthens knowledge exchange and deepened collaboration with international stakeholders working on climate adaptation and sustainable development. You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
It's shaping up to be a bright and sunny Sunday across the country with no Harmattan dust haze in sight. Temperatures will stay high from the northern region all the way down to the cities, with the hottest spot expected in Taraba State, reaching about 41 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, there's a slight chance of rainfall in parts of Ogun State, the southern parts of Ondo, Lagos, Delta, and Cross River State. And that's your weather update. Remember to stay hydrated, keep cool, and always be weather-wise.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Prime on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, queues have once again started building up at petrol stations across Ibadan and surrounding communities as the pump price of Premium Motor Spirit (PMS), commonly known as petrol, climbs to between 1,020 naira and 1,080 naira per litre. The sudden rise in price has started to impact transportation costs within the city, with commuters already experiencing increases in fares on several routes. Investigations by our correspondent reveal that the fare adjustments are gradually spreading to other routes within the metropolis as transport operators attempt to cope with the higher cost of fuel. The Central Bank of Nigeria says 30 banks have already met the reverse minimum capital requirements under its ongoing recapitalization program launched in 2024. According to Apex Bank, several lenders raised fresh capital through rights-issued initial public offerings and private placements, while the remaining institutions are still undergoing routine verification before final compliance is confirmed. The CBN says the program is designed to strengthen the resilience, stability, and long-term capacity of Nigeria's banking system to support economic growth and observe future risk. Every year, the holy month of Ramadan reshapes daily life across Nigeria, not only spiritually but economically. Beyond prayers and fasting, Ramadan acts as a powerful economic engine that stimulates commerce, revives traditional markets, and reshapes consumer behavior from the first sahur to the last iftar. Sadia Yakubu tells us more.
Ramadan traditionally increases demands for foods associated with sahur and iftar: dates, rice, beans, palm oil, fruits, and protein staples. In cities like Abuja, Kano, and Lagos, open market reports sustained high turnover as families stock up for nightly breaking of the fast. While higher demand can push prices upward, particularly for popular items like dates and meat, it also injects cash into local agriculture, transport, and wholesale.
Ramadan, because people are buying everything to get the people. That's why this thing goes down.
For many small vendors, Ramadan is the most profitable month of the year. Street food sellers, spice merchants, and butchers often double or triple daily sales. In cities like Kano, prepared foods such as tuwo, miyan kuka, suya, and assorted pastries become nightly staples, drawing large crowds after Taraweeh prayers. Small-scale supplier supports increased orders from restaurants and catering businesses preparing for community iftars and corporate events. Ramadan in Nigeria is far more than a period of fasting and spiritual reflection. It is a seasonal economic catalyst that energizes markets, supports livelihoods, and alters consumption rhythms nationwide. From bustling food stalls and nighttime transport hubs to digital giving platforms and fashion persons, the blessings of Ramadan extend into bustling economic life. As Muslims observe these sacred months in 2026, the broader Nigerian economy, informal traders, small businesses, and service providers once again finds a period of vibrancy and renewed opportunity. Remember to give charity to the needy. Speak nicely to people. Recite salawat upon the Prophet, peace be upon him. Recite the Quran. Listen to Islamic preaching, among others. Ramadan Mubarak. Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
On the foreign scene, Guinea has dissolved 40 political parties, including its 3 main opposition groups. In a sweeping late-night decree issued less than 2 months after President Mamadi was sworn in, authorities say the parties failed to fulfill their legal obligations, and the order immediately stripped them of legal status, political activity, and control of their assets, which have now been placed under state supervision. The move deepens concern over shrinking civic space in Guinea, where critics say the government has intensified crackdown on dissent since the Mbaye seized power in 2021. Over now to the United Nations humanitarian chief has expressed deep concern over the scale of global spending on war, warning that enormous resources are being poured into conflict while humanitarian crises continue to grow around the world. Speaking to reporters at the United Nations headquarters in New York, Tom Fletcher said the Middle East conflict alone is consuming staggering amounts of money that could otherwise help millions of vulnerable people. Mukhtar Qasim reports.
The United Nations Emergency Relief Coordinator says the scale of global military spending has become deeply troubling at a time when humanitarian needs are rising sharply. According to him, the world appears to be losing sight of its priorities as funds that could save lives are instead being used to fuel violence.
We're seeing staggering amounts of money, reportedly $1 billion a day, funding this war, spent on destruction, while politicians continue to boast about cutting aid budgets for those in greatest need.
Fletcher further warned that the consequences extend far beyond the battlefield, saying escalating conflict is draining resources and political attention from humanitarian response efforts worldwide. He also cautioned that the continued violence across the Middle East risks worsening already fragile humanitarian conditions across the region.
Breaks my heart that this is being spent on this conflict rather than dealing with the existing huge humanitarian caseload. We've lost our bearings somehow in the world. And that this ingenuity and creativity that humans have is being spent on developing more and more sophisticated ways of killing each other.
The United Nations says hundreds of millions of people around the world currently depend on humanitarian assistance, and officials warn that prolonged conflict and shrinking aid budgets could leave millions without the support they need to survive. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global TV News.
In sports stories now, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, says Nigeria's chances of qualifying for 2026 FIFA World Cup remains alive, despite growing public concerns over FIFA's playoff listing. Diko said FIFA has not yet issued an official verdict on the protest reportedly lodged by the Nigerian Football Federation over the eligibility of players used by DR Congo in a decisive qualifier. He urged Nigerians to remain calm, insisting that the Super Eagles could still benefit from the final ruling and possibly secure a place in the playoff tournament. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here is a reminder of our top stories again. Brought to you that the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has released emergency hotline numbers for Nigerians living in or traveling through parts of Middle East as tensions linked to the Iran-Israel conflict continue to rise. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria says 30 banks have already met the reversed minimum capital requirements under its ongoing recapitalization program launched in 2024. And on the foreign scene, Guinea has dissolved 40 political parties, including its 3 main opposition groups, in a sweeping late-night decree issued less than 2 months after President Mamadi was sworn in. And finally, in sports, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, says Nigerians' chances of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup remain alive, despite growing public concerns over FIFA's playoff listing. Now that's it on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.